Warren Buffett warns there's only one way that a smart person can go broke. Are you making this big financial misstep? So let's check this out. So the zero balance mentality. Buffett seems to enjoy living well below his means despite his massive fortune. Unfortunately, some people operate under a zero balance mentality. A person might believe they can get away with spending $1,000 a week if they earn $1,000 that week. In reality, they can actually only afford to spend less than $1,000 if they account for unexpected expenses and the need to save. So let's see. Buy now, pay later. Buffett has never been a fan of leverage, which is the use of borrowed funds to raise one's trading position. If you don't have leverage, you don't get in trouble. That's the only way a smart person can go broke, basically. He told the US government in 2010 as part of an investigation into the 2007 2008 financial crisis. Accordingly, Berkshire Hathaway has a debt to equity ratio of just 0.25, but the average American seems unable to manage the same level of risk. U.S. household debt accounted for 64.8% of GDP, according to CEIC data as of June. Americans, especially younger consumers, are getting acquainted with Buy Now, Pay Later (BNPL) services. These services allow customers to acquire items they can't afford by paying in installments. In fact, 57% of respondents to a survey published by FinMaster said they regretted using Buy Now, Pay Later services after a purchase, highlighting the issue. Debt in all forms, from excessive mortgages to BNPL schemes, create barriers to wealth accumulation for the average person and keeping up with your neighbors. To many, the grass can seem greener on the other side of the fence, and this type of thinking can drive some to overspend in order to keep up appearances with their neighbors. According to Buffett, this is also the cause of the risky financial behavior and bubbles in the economy. People start being interested in something because it's going up, not because they understand it or anything else, he told CNBC during an interview in 2018. But the guy next door, who they know is dumber than they are, is getting rich and they aren't. Envy shouldn't drive financial decisions. Avoid this mistake if you're trying to build long term prosperity. After all, Buffett himself still lives in the same house he purchased for $31,500 in 1958. Now, here's the thing. The problem with a lot of people who are smart with their finances or whatever is that they think that their crap doesn't stink, right? They think that nothing is going to happen as long as the math makes sense, right? So they're going to be willing to go into debt to buy multiple rental properties because technically the math works out if they get renters in every single house paying the mortgage, paying the taxes and the insurance on the home, etc., and they make a small amount of profit per month, that it justifies the expense. It justifies the leverage. The problem with leverage, right, is that every time you add more leverage, there are typically two things that happen. One, your cash flow tends to decrease. Two, you add more and more and more risk. And a lot of people think that they can handle the risk until something bad happens. Like, this is also the issue with the whole buy now pay later thing, is that you could basically be getting, like, you're able to like afford the payments on multiple purchases to a certain extent until those payments, those payments start to add up to literally being more than what you actually bring in a per month basis. That's where you get people into a really bad cycle of filing for bankruptcy, having to start over again, having no credit score, and just going down the exact same path again because people get like addicted to that type of thing. We're like, oh, I could spend $10 a month or like $10 a week for like a brand new iPhone. Why not? Oh, I could like spend like 2 or 4 grand on like brand new furniture and have like 0% the whole time. Oh, what's the big deal? The problem is people don't even utilize the leverage in a right way, right? So, for example, if you're able to get like 0% financing, right, on however much money, yeah, financially speaking, it might make sense to take that and then use that money to invest into something that will give you a higher return than 0%. But the 99% of people who do those offers don't do that. They go and spend the money that they were going to spend on that item onto something else. Or they never had the money to begin with, so they're buying something at that 0% because they can't afford to buy that item in the first place, and then they go buy another item that they can't afford in the first place. So now they own multiple things, like they sign on the dotted line for multiple items that they had no money to afford at all. So people just get like really stuck in this vicious cycle of just constant payments for everything. Let's see some of these comments. Buffett is smart. Let's see. Let's see. Warren Buffett is correct in what he says, which is live within your means. That means you don't need an iPhone or the high priced candies he sells, just to name a couple. Yeah. It's just the thing is, be very careful when it comes to leverage. Understand that there's always risk when you do something like that. And if you can't afford it, don't buy it.